Hi, Tony from MyGolfSpy here, and I am with Sean Toulon, Executive Vice President, TaylorMade Golf, and we're going to try and get some of those answers to the questions we know you guys have. So out of the gate, Sean, I think everybody knows that what TaylorMade is, the #1 company in the industry right now, but who is TaylorMade? You know, what would you say is the spirit of the company?
Well, I think it's really, I appreciate the question because it's something that we love to talk about. The founder of our company is a guy named Gary Adams, who was actually a guy that I got to meet like in 1979 with the initial metalwood, because I worked in a bag room in a little golf course in Wisconsin, and he was a salesman at the time, and he started this little company, a metalwood. So he was very entrepreneurial, and what he wanted to build, Tony, was a golf club company that was by golfers for golfers. So we're just a bunch of golf and knuckleheads like everybody else, and we just get to build things that hopefully we like and everybody else does. It's pretty simple.
Right, it's kind of, this is a really interesting year in the industry for really the first time. I mean, you guys have been on top for quite a while. Let me ask, what did it take to get to that spot?
It took, I think, an unbelievable passion for what we do, which we have that. I think we do, at least. Obviously, it takes a ton of hard work, it takes a bunch of luck, and then it takes really supreme focus on what it is you're trying to do and who you're trying to be, and what you want to become. So in 2000, when we really started on this rebirth of the company, we put up on the wall, our dream was to be the best performance golf brand in the world. And to me, as a product guy, I knew exactly what that meant to do for product. And all day, every day, we just tried to get one step closer to being that. I don't know that we ever become that in the way that we dream, but that's our inspiration and our aspiration every day.
Now this year, as I started to say, very interesting, because for the first time, you've kind of been almost left alone. Everybody's trying to make good products, but they've never really, I guess, made it publicly known that they're coming out after TaylorMade. They want that #1 spot. And we're hearing that now. Nike says they want to be #1. That's why they got in the business. Callaway has said, we were there. We want to get back to it. So first, are you scared?
No, but we've got the bullseye. We know that. It's something that, one, we're humbled to have it, to be frank. We just keep doing what we do all day, every day, and somebody's on top. Right now, it's us, and that's awesome. We are unbelievably hungry to take our lead from where it is today and strengthen it, and to widen the gap. We've got a lot of really, really smart people that work really hard, and every day we get a little bit smarter, and that shows up in products. So we're going to continue just to keep the hammer down. We are, I think, more aggressive now than we've ever been, and we're going to, if anything, we're going to turn the volume up.
Well, let's talk about some of that aggression. I mean, you guys certainly have changed the way golf clubs are marketed. And within the last 2 years, really just kind of stepped it up with the social media and the big launch events. As you kind of adjust or I guess change with the marketplace, do you see needing to do something fundamentally different than you're doing today to maintain that position?
I'm sure. I don't know exactly what that might be, on the floor here of the show with you today, but if you don't change, by definition, you're going to fall behind. So, when you go out and you look at where we stand today and what we look like, and then look at some of our competitors, and it would be really hard pressed to say that they really look any different from the last 10 years. That's not acceptable to us. We got to continue to push it forward, to think of new ways. We have to innovate relentlessly over and over again. So I don't know what that means for marketing in 6 months or 12 months. I just know it will be different than it is today. And we work every day to try to come up with the right answers for those.
Excellent. I saw an interview you did, I want to say 2009. So we're going on 4 years ago. And one of the things you talked about was the pyramid of influence. Fundamentally, here we are 4 years later. Has anything changed with that pyramid in terms of either how it's built or how the various sections are weighted?
No, I would say, Tone, if anything now, it might be even more important, and I'll tell you why. When we bring out these products that are dramatically different, they're not different just to look different. They're different because that's what we had to do to get the performance. We care only about performance. That's what makes the difference here. That's why people buy the clubs. So when you come out with a putter, for instance, that looks like a spider, if that doesn't get validated by the best players in the world, people are going to think it's a gimmick. If you do a white driver for all the reasons we would do a white driver, and it doesn't show up on tour, then it's a gimmick, right? We don't do gimmicks. So the tour, as we continue to push the performance envelope, Rocket Blades irons is a perfect example. The performance of that product is so dramatically different than what these tour players have ever played that we need them into this, but they're only going to go if it works better. If they do, it changes the golfing world, which is I think what you're going to see in irons this year. So it's more important as we get more innovative.
And I'm glad you mentioned the irons, because obviously, a lot of discussion around the Rocket Blades. I mean, truly, whether or not it actually performs as you advertise it does. Yeah. I mean, it is a revolutionary product in what you're trying to do with it, with the slot. When you have something like that, and again, the reputation of TaylorMade is really, doing the marketing side bigger than everybody else. Is there any concern that a product like Rocket Blades this year or Rocket Balls last year is going to get lost in some of the, I guess you'd call it, the hype that you generate about the products?
No, because the products have to work. So the one thing I learned from Gary Adams, who ended up being my mentor, he died in the year 2000, but he always told me, Toulon, I want you to remember one thing as you go forward. Products don't lie. They either work or they don't. And if they work, they'll sell, and if they don't, they won't. So I know people look at these claims 17, which you got near and dear to your head, to your haircut at least. That, yes. And now it's 17 plus 10, and how ridiculous that sounds. We know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. And so when we do something with Rocket Blades irons, the performance of the product is so different. And I will say this, and I know people are going to think, of course he's going to say this, he's the product guy. I believe that the biggest invention that we've ever done, TaylorMade, was 34 years ago, wood to metal. I think Rocket Blades irons, slot, active faces, 830 CORs in irons, and all the things that we've been able to do to control the predictability of the distance. I think it's the second biggest invention this company has ever had.
So basically the biggest thing since the
metalwood, and I mean that. And you will see the tour is going to change dramatically. Our market share is going to change dramatically. The world is going to change. If you're not playing an iron with a slot in the bottom, then you're not playing the best.
Let me ask you, I mean, you are, as we've talked about already, on top of the industry, and with that comes some detractors and certainly some negative feedback consistently. Is there one misconception about TaylorMade that sticks out in your mind more than anything else?
Yeah, we tell the truth. And I know a lot of people look at these claims and they go, it's total BS, but it's not. And look, we are a bunch of golfers that love the industry, that love the game, that love equipment. And I wish people would really get their arms around that, because we're just like they are. We happen to be winning right now, and that's great, and we're humbled and excited, and we've worked our asses off to get there. Seriously, we have. But we haven't done our best work yet. And I really believe tomorrow will be better than today, and the future is unbelievably bright. So all they have to do, they don't have to believe me, just go hit the clubs. That's all.
Let's wrap it up by talking about that future. I've been asking everyone I've spoken to, where is your company in 5 years? So you're on top of the industry right now. In 5 years though, where do you see TaylorMade Golf?
Searching for better answers and looking for new ways to get golfers excited. That's what we do, right? We have to create desire for a golfer. And the only way you do that is through better performance, right?
Not paint?
we're just trying to, that's a part of it, honestly. I mean, we always say people buy with emotion and justify with logic, so the product has to work. But when you set a driver down, if you don't have a lustful experience when you look at that, you're not going to do very well. And then because it works, if you can turn lust into love, that's what we do, that's what we try to do. I can tell you that 5 years from now, our drivers will go farther, the fairways will go farther, the balls will go higher, irons will be, everything will be dramatically better than it is, because we get smarter every day, and it shows up in product.
Excellent. Sean, thank you for taking the time to speak with me.
All right, Tony, thank you. Thanks, buddy.